Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with the crew. Plus I have Professor CA on with us. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
We are talking about Loki, the latest
What's
episode.
up?
We're talking about the latest episode of Loki, where
Ready
Loki
to rock.
is confronted, with the timekeepers. I mean, there is enough there, but hey, let's just get this bad boy moving. And what did you guys think of the episode? Okay, start with Professor CA. Give us a little background in your while you were telling us what you think of the episode, Professor CA.
All right. First of all, I just got to lay something out with this Disney Plus stuff. I'm a longtime Marvel fan. I'm a longtime Marvel movies fan, and I'm a fan of the Disney Plus shows. My one kind of criticism that's creeping up is this kind of like writing trick that they're kind of playing out now, where you don't even know who the antagonist is until the freaking fifth or sixth episode. You don't even have a context or a setting sometimes until the fifth or sixth episode. So you're going, oh, so when you hear critics on YouTube or wherever else say, oh, this was a good episode, what they're really, or this is a bad episode, what they're really talking about is either the lack of information they have or clarity or new information or the more information they get. So yes, this was a really great episode given that not much of anything happened in the third episode. So I'll leave it there. So right now, the plot has moved forward, and we find out a lot of stuff, but we got a lot of stuff taken away from us, and then we find out some more stuff if you watch the after credits. I enjoyed it overall.
Thank you very much, Professor Spear, for that honest and uplifting review there.
Just keeping it real.
I'm just trying. I know that's what I'm trying to say. I'm bringing it over. I'm afraid to bring it to the other two guys.
I know, me too, but you got you.
I'll catch a tiger by still is the track of the track. Who do you want your money back? All right, so I'm gonna. It lands on PD. PD, your turn.
A very special Loki, where we find out that the TVA have been wrong. The TVA agents have been wronged. That Loki, the female Loki, was right, and these guys are actually. We find something out about them. Oh no! Even though the female Loki has been killing them left and right, burning them down, now she's the savior of these variants or whatever they are, these agents are. I'm too much of these guys, too much of this sort of thing where we try to find out we try to find out the history of these guys, which are basically cannon fodder. So I can't care even for Mobius. So it's one of those things where I was kind of like, that it is a different sort of device where we kind of say, oh, everything we knew about the TVA guys were actually a lie, and Loki is the one that's revealing the truth to them, but at the same time killing them with no care. So it's kind of the wrong person to be giving. Like I guess they do that in a lot of movies where the bad guy comes in, kills everybody, and like, but you don't know this. This is what you really are. Where we kind of, I guess, get sort of from the Matrix. Either you're with us or you're part of the system or the matrix, so we had to kill you. So anyway, there's also a controversy, but we'll get to that later. They get captured pretty easily early on, so we can get all this TVA stuff out. But we do have a good scene where we get to see the timekeepers. I was okay with that scene. Outside of the fight, I'm kind of done with all the extra fighting in here. The
There's never
timekeepers.
enough. There's never enough.
Of this fighting, yo, there's enough.
Never enough. Never enough.
These fight scenes are suck.
Come on. Good.
The Capella is just like even worse. It's worse. It's like bad aerobics. But anyway,
What about you, Cal? What's your take on this?
It was a better episode than the last one, but my opinions from the last one are pretty much the same as this one. Not really moving too much. Visuals aren't that great, but what can you say? Gotta watch it.
I mean, I am like, bro, it's like, have you guys all watching a different thing? They have moved this story completely changed it up. The TVA has been proven that the timekeepers, they are animatronic robots, basically.
no, we don't know what they are. We don't know what they are yet.
Those guys were fronts. So the question is, who is running them? Is there others who are the TVA or whatever? And Google, main character, what's her name, Ravenna, she seems to know what's going on to a degree. So Well, I think a lot of stuff happens here, and we're also seeing that. No, remember what they said? They were pruning a lot of the Loki, so there may have been something where they may have seen, hey, having a female Loki and Loki coming together may cause these next event, and so that's why she was pulled off from where she was before. So I mean, I think there's a lot moving on. We're coming to find out that Lokis are key in this particular show, a key to the multiverse. We're finding out that the timekeepers are not who they say they are. Who is it? You know, is the guy is his name KC for short? Kang the Conqueror? You know, are they introducing him here? Are they putting tidbits? Are they setting up the multiverse? Multiverse of madness with our boy Doctor Strange and Wanda? Huh? Are they doing the whole Ant-Man thing?
Will
Setting up
we have any interest in the multiverse of madness after this movie, after this TV show?
of course. You know, it's setting it up. It's exciting what's going on and all these different variants and the whole thing, the whole house of cards just falling down. So
That's right, Mars.
thank you very much for seeing. So I think a lot of things have been happening here. And once again, all I can say is Gugu and Bathara is doing a fantastic job. You know, keep it up, baby.
So this Kang the Conqueror, that's a suspect. I think another variation of Loki is a suspect. Miss Minutes is a suspect.
So let's talk about the Miss Minutes. People keep bringing up the whole Miss Minutes stuff. Like, yo, what the hell is Miss Minutes is the one behind the whole shebang?
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
I'm not. I'm just kind of like stirring the pot, but it seems like they talk about how it's a clock. We see all these clocks all over the place. Even the city itself looks like the inner workings of a clock. Knowing now that the timekeepers that we saw are animatronics, and given the fact that the Miss Minutes actress who plays the voice is actually, pretty well known in the industry, this might be her opportunity to actually get a live action role. And we did hear a voice laugh after the animatronics were shut down. So there is somebody behind the curtain. Just don't know who just quite yet.
I thought it was a male voice though.
But anything could happen with with like auto tune, and they probably have a version of that in the TVA.
Okay, good point. Good point. Didn't think of it like that. Good point. I just found that this episode was very good. It revealed a lot of stuff. People complained about the very fact that pacing has been slow, or there's a lot of exposition, a lot of talking about stuff. But I thought that here you finally get some understanding of what's going on and where these characters are, especially that whole Nexus event situation where we see that, when these two got together last time, it just things just hit the and I think that helped to explain that one of the reasons, like, why does it happen when you two get together? What's going on? I mean, probably there's more that we're missing, but dude, I think this Loki and Loki together means double love, baby, or something like that.
So let's get to it.
Yourself, baby.
Let's get
Love
to
yourself,
it. Let's get to it then.
Let the chaos out. Let's go.
Loki has a moment where he wants to say something to the other Loki, the female Loki, Sylvie, and he comes and there's a tender moment and they're getting close, and the internet said, no, we want Loki to be pansexual, but not that pansexual. No, please stop it. Like, somehow it was so great when he wrote it in, and it was open to things, and now they kind of get, hey, wait a second, we're not going that far. We thought we were open to things, but now we're prudes. Looking, what are you doing here? But anyway, it's one of those things. What do you have to say about that, Mars?
I know you're not trying to put me on
Looking
those.
at you.
Hey Lincoln, what's rocking? Peace out. I've been complaining about PDB being mean to you, man. I don't want people to like start sending bad notes about how he's treating his member of the
Get
family.
to it. Talk about the session between Loki and Loki. They had no connection besides fighting each other.
Bad fighting.
Yeah. So I mean, the connection is their shared event. Loki is clearly feeling feelings for Sylvie. They are connected somehow, But I mean, again, is it going to work? He's Loki. You know yourself as well as Can you really trust yourself to do what you expect you to do? So I don't know how that's going to work out at the end. That would be kind of wild and stuff. But we do find out that we see what happened to her when she was pulled away from her family, as a young child, and she'd been forced to jump from world to world to avoid and hide in the apocalypse. So this has been a long time going for her there because if you figure, she's like the same age as Loki and stuff. This stuff has been going on with her for a while.
Mhm.
TVA has been around for a while, and clearly there was a reason why. Like in that scene where when she captures, when she's in the elevator, I think with and, I keep forgetting her name, Roventa.
Yeah, something like Ravona or something. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, something like that.
So she's like, do you remember me? She says, yeah, I remember you. She said, do you know why you took me? And she's like, no. And you could tell the way she looked. Like, of course she knew why she took her. There was a reason why. And then once again, I go back to that whole Nexus event where you see those two. They were able to get captured at the end because before the world blew up, because those two being together caused a whole bunch of sparks, I guess, or chaos. I'm not sure.
But isn't that a plot hole?
How?
If wanted to get rid of them, all they had to do was not get them.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Like they were on Lamentus, right? Like you were saying, and the moons were like throwing more and more asteroids, and they were sitting right there in the midst of an event. They were literally going to be killed,
right,
when they were pulled out.
No, but you see, I see what you're saying. But the thing is that the bureaucracy of the TVA has to act for that because it's going to change everything. Probably the timekeepers, probably Ravenna could stop it if they were there on top. But those guys are the ones fielding the question. So the bureaucracy is going to do what they have to do no matter what.
But the doors literally opened right when they started holding hands. They wouldn't have had any time to undo their belt buckles or anything.
I don't know, but I'm not sure how that Nexus event was starting. If it's at the end of the world, theoretically, it should stop. But probably it causes something else to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You're right. In that I was thinking the same thing. Well, here, the problem is solved, right?
Right.
Here it is. They're there. Boom, done. But it was causing something. It was changing something. It was making things happen. And so on there, however they measure it, it was such an event because it just happened like bam, right out of the boom. And remember, they said you have a certain amount of time before it gets set. So they were like, probably they survived, or probably because of whatever they do. They are gods, right? So with the lower G, of course. So yeah, I think I found this very interesting. But let's go back to the end credit scene. You guys all saw that?
Yep.
Yes.
So what did you take on that whole thing? The end credit scene that we see, when he gets zapped, he doesn't actually die. He basically is, or excuse me, pruned. When he got pruned, we were always thinking that these guys were dying, right, the variants. But maybe that this is something that the timekeepers do. They don't want to necessarily kill their variants. They want to recycle them or recycle these people to make them into variants working for the timekeepers. We're not sure, but that's just one of my thoughts. But you see him land with the other Lokis, basically. You got the old, the classic horned Loki. You got young Loki. You got brother Loki with the hammer. What's your take on that, guys?
Well, for me, I'm just saying as cool as the cheesy outfit looked, I think they could have put a little bit more money and put some more bells and whistles because they already had the bones of Loki's real outfit done, the classic outfit we've seen by Kirby and John Buscema. They could have put some more money to tighten that one up, make it look cool. The same what they did with the Vision and Scarlet Witch. They had to make a cheesy version, but they did it so close. All they need to do is tighten it up. It'll be as tight as like Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I don't know why they had to do the extra cheese and make it like, oh, we're gonna play it like a jester, but they got all the elements to it. So I mean, obviously when we see it move around, it probably get cheesier as it goes along. But otherwise, it's like we couldn't lose Loki, so of course they had to dump him somewhere. So, and we get in our multiverse already. I'm already getting tired, but everyone else is like, yeah, can't wait for Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, and he'll be going through the Avengers and all those scenes over and over again. They can play for free and just digitally add some other people in it. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yes. Yeah. Love it. I don't know. Like, one, I thought the scene was dope because it gave us that information that pruning doesn't mean death. So I was a little bit more information about the world building. I love the fact that the shot was a callback to the Avengers, the first movie shot where Loki's like, well, I guess I'll have that drink now, and all the Avengers are kind of CGI next to each other, looking at him in a weird way. That's kind of like the way they kind of framed that shot. So that was cool. I get nothing but enjoyment watching review shows and other channels and wait to see if they're going to call boastful Thor the black Loki. It was cool. You had I don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, but there was an alligator Loki, which is dope. I mean, maybe that was the voice. Maybe it wasn't the old school Loki, classic Loki who was talking. And he had Kid Loki, which is a dope look. There's a lot at play there. So I'm really interested now where it seems like, once again, in the next and penultimate episode, we actually get some kind of like some movement about what's going on and ultimately what they're going to do. But it looks like there's going to be a citadel of Lokis in episode 5.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've shown that episode, that clip where he's with a whole bunch of like people. And he's like, get them, and they basically turn their guns on him. So you're like, first of all, how long has he been there to try and take over? His whole thing is trying to take over. Look, I think it was a good episode. I think it was revealing. I liked it a lot. Once again, I give it a big thumbs up, and I think that you guys liked it too, right?
No.
Yeah.
So I mean, once again, we're in agreement, and
we're not in agreement. No,
we're in sync.
We're in sync. So once again, we're in sync. So hey,
two people are in sync, and we haven't heard. Cal was kind of down on it, so it's like
Cal is in sync. He's not complaining. He's not complaining about it.
You need to get a sandwich.
Well,
yeah,
hey,
I just finished the sandwich.
Damn.
So Cal, do you have?
I'm not in sync.
Oh no, I mean, do you have anything to contribute?
No. I mean, it was just me being more down on the whole thing, and I think I did enough on that the last episode. I really don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what possibly is going on. I would like to talk about, the actual story and what's being given. And they've decided they don't want to do that just yet. So I'll wait.
We're not going to do that until it's over, because we're not going to be told anything till it's over.
Exactly. That's how they keep you coming back.
But they used to be able to do stuff like that. Used to be able to do a serial, or an episodic show, whatever it may be, and there was still stuff for you to talk about until you got to the climax of the penultimate episode. This, because it's all set up for the most part, it's just like, hey, you can just kind of just move out on whatever's being shown right there. But at the end of the day, this is like a big marshmallow. There's just not a lot there for me to chew on.
Yeah, it's kind of like akin to now the kind of like the switch or transition from just like regular comic books to the actual amalgamation of storylines into these big thick ass graphic novels, where it's not predicated by like, oh, see you in a month. So you really don't know if a storyline was good or if it just kind of like had a bunch of fillers until you actually read it within this trade paperback kind of format. So similar with this, like, was WandaVision really that good when you kind of have to go back and watch it and you know what the world building is? Because you don't need to watch the first 3 episodes. You're just like, I'm not sitting through this. Or the first 4. So and you also have to know what your action is. And that's something that like different people, and I learned on my own just from different writers, that action doesn't necessarily have to mean fisticuffs, right? Which is why I get annoyed at these kind of lame ass second unit fight sequences when the action really is the philosophical conversations between like a Mobius and a Loki, or so that's your action. So that's why I get annoyed with these little fight scenes. Like, I'm not, it's like whatever. That's not really the action for me.
That's what people want to see. People want to see a little bit of action. They want to see a little bit of fight.
But in this situation, like you're saying, it's almost like when you learn playwriting, the dialogue is the action.
Yeah.
That's your action. The other stuff over there it's like stock, it's stock fighting at the end of the day. There's nothing. It doesn't go from, we got some middle of the road dialogue over here. And then the action like really picks up and takes us to the point where like, okay, great. This is like a feast for the eyes. No, the dialogue is pretty much what's moving this along. So that's your action. That's where you need to like really nail it. You're not doing it.
Right. Like, so if it was like Rounders, like that poker story, the action is playing poker. Like, that's your action. It's like, so it depends on the movie and the premise, but kind of dictates what the action is. And, it doesn't always have to look like a fight, especially when it's like Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
I guess, okay. I mean, I see the point. Don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see the point. And,
nah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
yeah. So hey, once again, to the crew, we are in sync. And so,
I don't, I don't, I
um,
don't have it up, but they had somewhere I saw on the net they had the Loki fights with the Batman music on it.
Oh, word, that's dope. I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for that. Before we like, it sounds like we're kind of coming close to closing out. What do you guys think about Ravonna in terms of who she is, and because it seems like she had already in her mind made up that she was gonna murk Mobius, and that was kind of like why she was asking him, like, "Hey, man, like while they're having drinks, where would you like to be? Where would you like to go if you had your choice?" Just kind of like, because I'm going to send you there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think he's coming back?
I think he's alive. If Loki's alive, he's alive. That's the way I look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you have that clip from from episode 5 where a big ass, like, I don't know if it's Titanic or something, just kind of falls. It seems seemingly in that same junkyard planet. So it seems like that's where they throw away all their pruning stuff to have a pruning junkyard or something.
Mm.
Little speculative, but
or they may have a place where they send these guys to get have their minds wiped and put back in.
huh.
That's what I was thinking. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
but Kate, I mean, I think overall it was pretty good. I mean, let's the theory. The question is, if we're talking about this is the introduction to Kang the Conqueror. I mean, I don't know if they're going to actually show the character, but discuss him. And people have been talking about for the longest that dude, one of the guys there, looks a lot like Jonathan Majors. You know, um, that could be a yes, that could be a no. We're not sure. But they also
They
talking
showed
about
him. They showed you what they look like, and it wasn't that character.
it's fake. It's fake. If you
But
look at this,
the faces look like the robots that they made look like those faces.
some of them do. It can be depending on the angles you look at. So I'm not sure about that. And then you have the whole thing
Okay.
with Ms. Minutes. There's a whole controversy about whether she's behind the whole thing, the person running the current, the
Yeah.
because she can exist in and out of time. So
Yeah. I look at it like the name of the show is Loki. So my theory is everything is Loki. Loki is the hero. The Loki is the villain. Loki is like pretty much everything. I don't know. And I feel like we might get a surprise in terms of who the variants are. So I think I'm still waiting to find out who Ravonna is. Like, is she a Kang variant?
right,
Well, that's King's girlfriend.
Mobius? Well, I think you know how Marvel likes to play and kind of like they know the information. Kevin Feige knows the information that we're learning in terms of like the research in terms of the old plot line. So sometimes they like to kind of like collapse a couple together. So I'm interested to see where they're gonna go with this.
I mean, the one thing I've been thinking about, and this is all speculative, and I know Cal, you're not wanting to hear this, but what if the whole thing with remember they're saying that the timekeepers they're supposedly at the end of time, wherever they are, they're at the end of time. So therefore, they already know how things are supposed to play out. So this whole exercise is really an exercise. They know the Lokis are going to cause Nexus events. The whole exercise is really to stop the Lokis, but you can't stop it because that's what's going to happen in time. It's just inexorable, just like the Avengers are going to defeat Thanos. Um,
Yeah.
going to happen. So I'm like, wow. So if that's the case, what if it's behind the curtain? There's another Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so I think there's a lot of speculation that can go there and some interesting ideas. So I think big thumbs up for Disney for Marvel for doing this stuff. You know? I mean, there's another great example. I was just reading something the other day where they were talking about how Thanos could have been stopped by Doctor Strange. With he gets stopped by Kang the Conqueror, who just basically speeds up time and ages Thanos the whole time. Why couldn't Doctor Strange have done that? He claimed there's only one way to do that, but he had the time stone. Why not?
Yeah.
So I mean, we have
We
options.
wouldn't have another movie. We
The
need him to
options are out
survive to do the next movie.
there. I know.
The option that we got was the one. I'm not gonna go that far to be selective on saying because it had to move forward. To say some of the stuff that they were doing and giving it up, some of those things could have seemingly fought back against, keeping Thanos in a time loop. But they already did it in the what's the name? They already did it in the Doctor Strange movie. It's a cool thing to do something with someone that powerful, but you have to do something different in the next one. So
Yeah, and we see that the time loop prison Loki's put into it again and again, where lady said this is kicking him in the balls and stuff like that. So hey, Could have
And
been.
none of us have mentioned the only okay part in this was Sif. Sif being in there. Huh?
I just mentioned.
No, but you didn't mention Sif. You said him getting kicked in the balls rather than saying Sif.
It was nice to see Sif again.
And the fact that they kind of went to the Norse legend, but they didn't go that far. But they just said she had a bad haircut by Loki rather
As
than
opposed to being shaved bald by Loki.
exactly. So that's sort of the thing where they kind of the closest thing we've gotten to a true sort of Loki bit in there where he kind of whereas I don't think Loki at no point would he try to be remorseful. It'd be like I think they had one was I was drunk and I thought it'd be funny. So
He's a mischievous scamp.
It is. So here's the God of Mission. So once again, unless there's anything else, Spinner Rock. If you like what you see,
we
comment.
got something else.
Something.
He talked. They mentioned the big thing that's lighting up the internet. They mentioned the timekeepers mentioned vampires, so that means that Blade is coming. As if we didn't know.
I think I caught in the first episode. I think last night I was watching a few of the other episodes, and I think if you look again, there is this vampire-looking like creature in the administration office when he gets first walked in. He's like, "What kind of creature is that? Is that a vampire?" I don't know. I wasn't that excited about it. I was like, "All right, whatever." It's like, "All right."
But the internet is a buzzer. Oh yeah, look, we have a setup. They've set up the vampires, but we already saw that Blade is coming. It's just a dial as a bit, of hey, like I think in even with the Batman Forever, they say, oh, he's probably in Metropolis by now. Oh wow, Metropolis is the same world as Gotham. Okay, yeah, we got it. But anyway, I think the DC people are happy about that. So. Yeah, so no one there was barely a ripple for the vampire thing, so I guess you can close it out.
I mean, because we know for sure it's going to be happening. I mean, for me, I'm like, Blade is on board, baby. Bring it on, bring it on.
So that's the thing. You know Blade's on board. You know the X-Men and Fantastic Four is on board. We don't need any setup. Thank you, Mars. We don't need any setup for it. We already said it doesn't matter, so we can move forward. Thanks, man. Thanks for agreeing. We all agree.
We're all in sync.
If you like what you see, thumbs up, follow, comment.
Hit the subscribe. Word up.
Yes.